Hi, I'm Tiffany C. Blackman, and welcome to my show, my podcast, My So-Called Fabulous. Welcome, everyone. I'm Tiffany, and I am everything fabulous and not so fabulous sometimes. So we're going to see that on our show. I know, no, not always. But I am a wife, mother, I'm a chef, cookbook author, fitness fanatic, and drumroll, please. Mah Jong sister. Okay, everyone, welcome. So I want you to meet you some fabulous people in my life and my Mah Jong sisters. Dawn, over here to my left. Sheila, yay, and Chris. We're all here, right here. So I want to tell you, I really didn't know what Mah Jong was.
Me neither.
Did y'all? I mean, no. Okay. I really didn't know what it was until that huge move, Crazy Rich Asians, that huge move. And then I saw it, then I didn't think anything about it. And then Sheila and I were at a junior league sustainer event, and all of our friends were doing it. So
we were pretty left out.
We really felt left out. And we also felt like, oh, you'll never find a foursome to do this with. So we're like, okay. And we kind of sat in the back seat, And then fast forward a couple of more weeks, I get this phone call. It's from Dawn. So I think
it's important to have people you want to play with.
This is true. This is true. So I get a phone call from Dawn. I think it's my college roommate. Hey, Dawn, what's up? She's Tiffany. You may not remember me. You may not know me, but I sit across from you at TCU games. So
for the last 5 years.
Yes, for the last 5 years. And I have to tell you. So I know Dawn. When I first saw her, I went, you're that chick with those hot jeans with Riff Ram Bazoo down the leg. And I wanted them so badly. I was going to knock her off and get those jeans. And so she told me many years ago where to get the jeans. Anyway, I digress. So that's how I met Dawn. So Dawn said, we're trying to get a group together. We're going to talk to Sheila and we're going to talk to Chris. So we had to have someone train us. So Dawn found, is that correct? Dawn found a person, a Mah Jong master to teach us. So we went through 5 weeks of training. It was right in the middle of the summer, so a lot of crazy things, but you just had to do it for 3 hours for 5 weeks. We did 5 weeks.
You had to be committed to it.
Commitment. So it's a huge commitment. And I don't know about you, but when I was going through it, and our master, I'll call her Mah Jong master, we'll call her master, when I was going through it, I don't know how y'all felt, but I was so overwhelmed because it was so difficult.
It hurt my brain.
Yeah.
I just thought, there's no way I'm doing this. I mean, I'm not going to do it. And she even said, the first 2 weeks, you're going to think I'm never going to get this concept. Because to me, I went to college, went to grad school, but it's one of the most difficult things I've ever done.
It's like Sudoku on steroids.
Yes. I never mastered to Sudoku. Did you?
A little bit.
I don't even know
did.
if I'm saying
Yeah.
exactly.
I couldn't master Sudoku, so I thought, and I really did. And then I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm trying to start a podcast. I'm starting an influencer business. I have a family, and we're all busy. I mean, I'm not, but I just thought, there's no way. So I'm going to get through this training. I'm just going to slowly
Each
bow
session,
out.
they said, was a minimum of 3 hours for
Yes.
us to play. And, of course, I heard there was drinking involved, so I thought this is a great idea.
Hence, hello, cheers. Yeah. Again, that's what we do. But we don't drink during games. Oh, we are not. We're not there.
Not yet.
We tried one time, and that didn't work out too well for me.
Very little.
Yeah,
Very little.
just a little. So you have to keep all your mental faculties. So anyway, Dawn is responsible for forming this group. Thank you, Dawn. If we
Well, what I was doing was I wanted to have some friends here in Fort Worth, and I'd been here for about 5 years, and I hadn't really met any close girlfriends. And so I wanted to be with people that worked, that were mothers, that had a like mind to mine, not the people that are just going to every Bible study, every Girls on the Go, every kind of function where you could just go meet people. I wanted to meet people that were
So what you're saying is you wanted real friends.
Yes, I did. Because you're going to be spending that much time with somebody. I didn't realize you're going to be spending as much time as you're going to spend, but I'd heard you're going to spend 3 to 4 hours a week with this group. And so I handpicked the people that I wanted to be friends with. And y'all are, you're just a potpourri of different personalities, but we spend 4+ hours a week, every week. And that's huge. And sometimes we spend 8 hours because after we play Mah Jong, we go and we have dinner or we have drinks or whatever. And so it's not like people that you don't want to spend time with. And, getting to know each one of y'all y'all are my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, besides like a sister, y'all are the people that I would call when I needed anything. And it's because we've spent this much time. We started the week after the 4th of July, and our teacher had said, you know, I didn't want to start you beforehand, want to start you after so that y'all are committed to every single week getting together.
It's so complicated.
Yeah,
She said you don't want to have a week off in between.
And I've known other groups that have started and they go, okay, we're going to learn this week and then we're going to take the next week off because JoJo's in California and Mitzi's in New York and blah, blah, blah. But we committed to that.
Right.
And you even moved your trip on
Right.
or Greg's birthday.
I remember that.
Yes.
You know, we worked around, especially that training part. And our teacher was very good, and she trained us. And it has made y'all three girls the most important girlfriends and friendships to me. And we've known each other a little bit over half a year.
That's crazy.
You know, and that's she was talking about is we know commitments. We all know commitments with each other because she was mentioning Greg surprised me with a trip to Cabo, and he gave it to me, and I went, "Oh, thank you so much." And he goes, "What's wrong?" I said, "I can't go on Wednesdays. I can't." He went, "What?" I said, "I have Mah Jong." He went, "What?"
I said Cabo.
You said Mah
I
Jong.
said, we're going to move it one day. So we did move it. And I think all of us making a commitment to each other, then you're going, okay, this person is in.
Yeah.
And at that time, I'm asking you, I wasn't sure, like, can I really do this? Can you do it? Dawn, I mean, we're all career people.
Right.
I mean, we're moms and we're busy. I just still didn't. Did you think that, Sheila? Did you think you were like, did you?
Well, I just knew that when I first met you, I just knew you were my people. And when Dawn called to ask me, do I want to do this? And she had this like interview process of, well, no,
I remember
don't,
exactly
I don't
where I
wanna
was
be-
when I
yeah,
called
you were
when
at the
you called me
grocery
back.
store.
Yeah, I was at the grocery
H-E-B.
H-E-B in Weatherford.
And she's like, so this is Dawn, da-da-da-da, blah, so sweet. And by the way, are you fun? I mean, I hear you fun. Now, I don't want to be offensive, but do you drink? You know, I mean, and I really appreciate because I didn't want to be in a bad group either.
Because I'd heard so many groups that you couldn't
many
laugh,
rules.
you
Drink.
couldn't eat, you couldn't
They're
talk,
serious.
you know, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted people that I could identify and
But life's too
cherish.
short. And I was excited to make that commitment. It was one of those things just you have to make a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And I was ready to make the commitment. I just had a gut feeling it was going to be good. I've known Christine from afar, from charity stuff, and I just had a gut feeling it was going to be worth it. And I'm so glad. And it's been a challenge. I've needed this. I've needed something, had nothing to do actually with my family, my business, my kids, whatever, that used my brain because I can't remember people's names, you know. Dementia.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So we're going to bring this around. So those of you, we'll title this Mah Jong, obviously, and the people that are interested in what it is. So, what is Mah Jong? So I will start out, but I'm gonna refer to Christine. So it's a tile game. So you play tiles, and there's a certain number. And so Christine, can you give us like a little bit about Mah Jong?
Well, I don't even know how to start on that, but I mean, except to talk about how we really started out, and it was very confusing at first. And I remember the first time that we looked at these
There's the
cards.
cards. That's
yeah.
it.
And
See,
this is the card.
There's the
It's very
card. Oh my gosh.
rulesy. And we all looked at this and then looked at the
It's like
tiles. And I
Chinese.
remember you looked at me and you said, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing here.
I don't know what this is.
But in every year the card changes. But there are people that memorize the card every year, so they don't have to
Haven't
use the
done that
card.
yet.
We're not there yet.
I know there's 2, 4, 6, 8.
So yeah, so after you deal the tiles equally, and you have and your tiles are racked, and you make a hand, and you go through the Charleston a couple times, and then people start playing, and sometimes you pick a hand off this card that you think, oh, this is going to be no problem, and I'm going to win this game, and then all of a sudden you realize that you have to switch strategies within this card, and I think that's what I like about it because you don't hone in on one thing. It kind of makes you be elastic and kind of your brain has to be elastic and you have to go towards another direction. And then sometimes you realize that you have a completely dead hand and then you get to be a jerk and throw the jokers and nobody can pick up jokers after that. So
It's very rulesy.
it's very rulesy.
lot of
Lots of
And
rules. And one of the things at the beginning we were saying when we were like, oh my God, there's so many rules and all these sheets of paper. How could, and I thought, you know what? if each of us knows about 25%,
We should have it covered.
we can all get through a game. And luckily, that's been the best thing. You remember something, I remember something. Whose turn is it? Do you push out to the left? Do you push out to the right? And we've made some mistakes, but that's how we've learned. But
And something that I didn't realize when we started, I did not realize this at all, but this really helps slows the effects of dementia.
Absolutely.
And it helps your brain work.
I need that.
And a couple of weeks ago, we were playing right before Christmas, and my phone was ringing, ringing, and we're busy people. We have agreed to accept phone calls. We're all busy, but it's like I couldn't grasp what I was doing. I had to just finally just go no more. But this is brain work. This helps your brain and memory skills, and
Just like it used to hurt our brain at first, it feels good that it doesn't hurt our brain. So
Right.
we are
We're
truly
progressing.
building
Right.
brain muscle.
Okay, so we play at a country club, a local country club, and we play at the time that other foursomes are playing. And so they may have been playing for 3,
long
5, 10 years, a long time, and they're talking like we're talking as friends, and I'm listening to their conversation, and they're like, you just want to go, shut up.
I know.
I mean, because I can't focus.
Or I find myself going, no, she didn't.
she shouldn't have wore
some
that.
gossip. No. That's not,
Yeah,
that's not
or
the
we
right
start our
person,
own
but yeah.
conversation
Yes.
about something that we think might be very interesting to them to listen to, so they will stop. Or they'll start talking about something, and they'll be yap, and then they'll go, and then we said,
Yeah.
It's a little distracting.
It's a little distracting. And Chris and I, we're all like, okay, all right, everybody just stop. Just stop. Because there's a
Regroup.
conversation going. They're talking about something. Everybody just, okay, we're just stop. Everybody just breathe. And then because we're trying to find our strategy on this card.
Right. And we all have taken timeouts.
Yes,
And
taking
sometimes
timeouts,
it's
okay.
at least 60 seconds, if
That's
not
right.
more, during the game. That's okay.
Pause.
Somehow pause.
That's right.
The hand signal.
That's right. So that's what it is. It is a tile game, and the card changes in
March. The spring. That's all
Oh my
we
goodness.
know.
And so I remember when we bought the card. So I was like, okay, where do you go and get this? So it's just this card. Everyone sees this. Chris and I have larger cards, but yeah, I can't see. But this card, and so we asked our Mah Jong master where to get it. And she goes, oh, just get it on Amazon. I'm like, what? You get everything on Amazon, of course. But anyway, so
We're Googling back and forth. Are you buying this? Yes. I'm buying
this.
Okay. All right.
So nervous. So anyway, so we playing and continue to play, and I love it. I miss it. We've had 2 weeks off because of the holidays. So
Which will be an interesting game next week.
It will be plenty
Well,
of
you know,
timeouts.
Another
of time
thing,
out.
when we started this, when we didn't really know who was going to teach us, blah, 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 and I asked around about who would be a good person to teach, and she said the person we asked to ultimately teach us said, I'll teach at our house. I've got a Mah Jong table. I had no idea what that was.
and that's a different
And
thing.
then she said, make sure that everybody gets their Mah Jong card.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. We know what that is. Right.
You're
Yeah.
probably going, I don't know
that.
these women. They may be irresponsible.
And
I hope they are.
I called some other people, said, how do you get your Mah Jong card? And said, oh, it's very difficult, blah, blah, blah. Well, we all got ours within a night because we all called Amazon or something.
Yeah.
But it was just all foreign territory, and the first 3 or 4 times that I left, I would call my sister and say, does your head just hurt when
Because
you
she
leave
was
there?
also just learning.
She's
as
just
well.
learning, and my head would just hurt so much. But since we've started, we've gotten to a good rhythm where we're like amazed at ourselves. Not that we're amazed that we're so wonderful, but we're amazed that we can play and we can keep going, and we want to keep going. And we're playing at a pace that's not snails. I mean, it's
It's good.
yeah. It's
I
good.
just read online last night that the average game, now this certainly wasn't us in the beginning, the average is 10 to 15 minutes.
Whoops.
That's
do
not
y'all-
us now either.
They may not have popcorn.
Yeah,
and
they got more in
I don't think
snacks. Yeah,
so.
we do have popcorn and a kind of a trail mix.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some of
Something.
us
So we bring
like
sandwiches.
mustard with
Some
our
bring sandwiches. So
popcorn.
yeah,
It's
so
really weird.
so it's trial and error. And so those of you listening that's interested in Mah Jong or anything, any type of
It's kind of a new phenomenon, though. People used to, my kids were like, Mom, are you playing that old lady game? Like,
Right.
I kind of am an old lady.
Yes.
And yes.
Yes.
And I'm really proud that, first off, it's harder than it sounds. It's a difficult brain game, and it's fun, and it's challenging, and it is a commitment. And I'm just and it doesn't hurt my knees or anything. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Too soon. Too soon. Too soon. Okay, so yes, and when we're playing these games, and I was telling some friends of mine, much younger friends, that I'm going to play mahjong. She goes, "Oh my gosh, you can't do that."
right.
I'm like, why?
don't have
She
gray
said,
hair.
"You're too young." I'm like, what? So, but you know what? Okay, we're all career women. I think it takes. If we had little babies and toddlers,
No way.
this ain't happening, sister. Not, you know what I mean? I
No
don't
brain power for that.
I mean, but you don't have time. I mean, it would be really difficult. I made an assumption. That's an assumption, but
Agreed.
yeah,
Well, I'm with you on that one. I wouldn't be able to do it if I had
Right.
kids. I mean, even until they're in driving age.
right. So it's
As soon as,
difficult time.
16 and above, I might be able
Right.
to
And
do it.
we're all in the same life stage. We're all in the same decade now. I mean, it's. So,
Yay! Welcome, Sheila.
Yeah, welcome, Sheila.
5-0.
Big 5-0. Yeah.
And so I do, and we've talked about this too. We do play. We play on Wednesday afternoons, and that's the pinnacle of the middle of the work week.
And I tell you, it's something.
It's a great break.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
I look forward to
and it's just wonderful. And then we all go out to dinner afterwards most of the time, and it's just a good break. You can kind of work up to that, play the games, and go out to dinner, have great girl time, catch up on everything, and then kind of work the next couple days, take the weekend. And it's just a great,
It feels like somehow
it's a good rhythm.
Saturday afternoon in the middle of the week.
Exactly.
With
microwave
all of us,
popcorn and all.
with all of us, Christine, we've had times where we got there and Christine was upset with something going on with her work or something, with Tiffany, going out of town or, something having to do with that. This one who has got, a big concrete business and children and all this going on and very social, there's a lot of stuff going on. And then, y'all put up with me that a lot of times are almost in tears, but I look forward to
We've
that
never had a
solid.
game that you didn't start and say, "I'm so glad to be here.
Yes.
I need this.
Yes, I'm so glad to be
here."
with y'all. I mean, and when it's not just our 4, it's still good. But when we get our 4 back, it's just like
Home.
Well, it's a huge
Home,
comfort zone
exactly.
too,
It's
because
like
we are really all at the
home.
same stage of
And we
learning,
can talk about
and we can
anything.
talk about anything, and it's a safe circle conversation, which is another thing that I really like. Is everything that is discussed there or at dinner
Stays at
stays,
the mahjong
Stays
table.
there.
and it's a very safe circle.
Yeah.
And going back to how we all, formed this, but I remember talking to Dawn this last summer, and she had mentioned that she said, "I want to start this mahjong group, and I want you to be in it, and I'm going to call these other 2 girls, and you may or you may not know them." And she said, "I moved here and I've worked for 10 years and all I've done is work. And if I died tomorrow, the only people that would come to my funeral are my parents."
Oh yeah.
And so
know.
we
No,
come
they-
now, but
I know.
and I thought,
I'll have
wow,
5 people at my
and
funeral.
so, I think too, it goes back to the importance of friendships at this age. Again, we're all in the same life stage.
You have to make time.
You have to make time, and they're so precious and important for, how do you want to spend the next 25 years of your life? It's not working all the time.
Yeah, and who are you going to take
With
out
you.
4 hours or 8 hours every week to be with? They're people that you cherish and you want to be with
That's right.
and you want to continue friendships with. Not people that just because they nice shoes or they have a nice
Although
car.
Tiffany does like
Yeah, she
nice
does.
shoes.
I do like shoes.
I like shoes.
Yeah.
Shoes are
But
good.
it's people that you really want to be in the foxhole with.
That's right. Okay,
That's a good way
so
of putting it.
so this is my Mahjong sisters. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a few minutes. I want you to talk about yourself. I want you to introduce yourself because you're coming back, right? All you're coming back. It's another thing I love is we all support each other's philanthropies. We support each other's businesses. I mean, we Dawn, I'm going to start with you. She's a home builder, and she just finished a fabulous,
Incredible.
my so-called fabulous. It is very fabulous, fabulous home, one of many, many homes, and she wanted to show all of us her homes, and so she was so excited, and we saw your home. So,
Stunning.
Dawn, tell us how you. Okay, you bleed purple, but you got a little orange in you. So
Okay,
go
I was
ahead.
raised in Garland, Texas. I went to University of Texas. I was a baton twirler. I was a national champion baton twirler.
Really, really big deal.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did. And the reason why I went to University of Texas, because University of Texas had the best football team at the time there and OU. And so I went to University of Texas. TCU at the time was where my dad went to school. My mom went to school. TCU's in my family. But I went to University of Texas. I went from there. I got married. I lived in Dallas for a while. And then we moved to Atlanta. But before we moved to Atlanta, I was in retail. My major was fashion design and merchandising. And I was a buyer for Sanger Harris.
Wow.
Sanger Harris, yeah. Sanger Harris.
Sanger Harris.
Then I got pregnant with my son Dodson and realized that I couldn't travel to New York twice a month. And I couldn't work the late nights and be a mom. And so I made a change. And it was the very first year that Home Depot had started, or close to it, 1992. Close in there. And I started hanging out at Home Depot, and I bought a book about how do you build a house.
I started hanging out at Home Depot.
Hanging out at Home Depot.
I know. Is that not crazy?
It's
That
just
might
hard
be
to
crazy.
picture, but I think it paid off.
And I started flipping houses, and then we moved to Atlanta. And my first new build was in Plano, Willowbend.
Beautiful.
Willowbend. And that was for my family. Then we moved to Atlanta. I did new builds and flipped houses. We stayed there for 17 years. I went through a divorce, moved back here. My son was at TCU. I flew back and forth for a little while, worked up here, lived in Atlanta because my son was still in high school. Anyway, long and short, I've been here since 2013.
And you did this business, you've done it for a long time as a single mom.
Single moms out there. Can be done.
Hello.
Can be done.
So I moved here in 2013, and I've just finished my 21st house
My
here.
goodness gracious.
And it's a wonderful, wonderful profession.
And your company name is?
D Homes.
D as in Dawn
You
Homes.
can look at dhomesftw.com, my website.
All right.
And I have a son who is 27, who lives in Austin, works for Google. The other one is 26, lives in Washington, works for Grayscale Capital. And I'm here with my 3 best friends.
Yay.
Oh, wonderful. Right. Yes. I mean, and all, saying all that, I've told you all I'm on my third and final marriage. And it's, it takes, you lose some friends with marriages, you gain some friends with marriage, you lose some family, you lose some friends, whatever. But single mom, I was a single mom for a long time, and we connected like that. We've all talked about that, being a single mom and having to,
Pay for schools.
to pay for things. Yes, pay for school and
Pay for schools and cars and all that when...
Right, and college. And then there's college. So anyway, okay. So Christine Martin, tell us about you.
Well, it's not quite as exciting as all that, but
Yes, it
I was born and raised here in Fort Worth, Texas. I never thought that I would live here all my life.
Really?
And I married a man who will never leave. So here we are.
Never leave Fort Worth.
Never leave Fort Worth. He will never
leave.
No, I don't think he'd leave me either. Out of fear.
No, he's not leaving you. He's not leaving you.
Fear is good. So
Underestimate it.
that's right. Fear's very good. Italian. So so I actually went to Texas A&M and have a degree in architecture and minored in economics and building construction. Just kind of by default of taking. I tried to stay in academia as long as I could. So I just kept taking a bunch of classes.
Hanging on.
So when I graduated, she's like, well, this is your degree, and here's a couple minors and all that. So I got out and lived in Houston for a little while and lived in Austin. And, I did some lighting design and a few things that we were in a recession then. And so I decided to get into sales to make a little bit more money because women in design and architecture and construction, as you well know, it can be a tough go.
Highs and lows, right?
I did not have tough skin at that point.
It's kind of funny that all 3 of us are kind of in construction.
Yeah, it's interesting. And
really
so,
woman's
and I've
world.
thought about that before. So,
That's right. You all 3 are in construction.
And it's
of
not
some
a
sort.
woman's world. It's tough.
very not, and still isn't. And so, so after, and I so I did architectural sales because I could speak their language, and I liked it. There was a lot of freedom with all of that, and I liked. If somebody had told me as an architect you had to sit at a desk all day long, I probably would have said, I got to figure something else out, because I would walk into the office and I thought, this is a morgue in here. I mean, it was just absolutely so quiet, and here I am wanting to have a conversation with people that were trying to work. And so,
Hey,
Hello.
yeah, well, and I wanted to be the social chairman, and it just, I finally was like, I got to get out of here. So one of the architects one time, he told me, why aren't you in sales? He said, because you're with the salespeople when they come in here, and you can do this. This is more your alley. You're fine with design and everything, but you do this. And so that's really...
That's another skill that a lot of people that can do construction or architecture don't have.
Two different sides of your brain.
Yeah, well...
Being able to talk to people.
Yeah, because some of them... And so... So anyway, when I came back to Fort Worth, and I'd known Wilson before I went to college, the first time.
Your husband.
My husband, my sweet husband. And so I kind of took a gap several years from school and worked. And when I went back to A&M with his full support, and to finish my degree, and I lived abroad for a while. I did live in Italy for a year.
Nice.
And came back and finished my degree, and then we broke up again. So I know. And then so after we wound up getting married and all that, I just had a couple boys, and I'm a proud mother of two now grown boys. And one lives in Colorado, and he's a petroleum engineer.
My goodness.
And went to the Colorado School of Mines.
Sounds easy.
Yeah, it's very. He also got a degree in economics, so he dual degreed and played baseball for them. So, he got the big part of a gene pool that just kind of went there. And my younger son, who is the sweetest, he's an animal lover, and he's a park ranger, and just wants to save the world. So we don't talk about fracking and preservation at the Thanksgiving table at all. And so I'm very proud of both of them. They've done very, very well. So
That's so nice.
Yeah, so I still kind of do a little design, and I've kind of
work with Dawn a little, kind of.
And
Wanting to, yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And so this is kind of a year. So it's funny that, this is just kind of one of those years where I thought, you know what, I've kind of, I took a break. I'm a breast cancer survivor, so I took a little break after that.
Yes, I wanted you to talk.
This is
I was hoping you would say that.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
And I was diagnosed when I was 41, and then again when I was 49, and took a little break. I'm sorry, that was very emotional.
It's okay.
And so anyway, so after that, I was working for a company that was less than stellar about my journey, and I know, where's the Kleenex?
When you drop them
no,
from the
clean
sky.
And so I know, where is that? And so anyway, I just kind of have taken a break. I still do a little bit of design. I decorate people's houses for Christmas. I had a little bit of a business in Houston and in Austin with another friend who wants to. She said, I'm 65 and I'm retiring from this. It's a lot of physical work. So, so this is kind of the year where I thought, I got to get my act together, and I'm just going to kind of explore where my next North Star is. So
I certainly think her acts together. Don't you?
Yeah, well, one of the things that I admire so much about you is you're such a good mom.
Oh gosh.
And you travel, you love travel, and you're such a good wife. I was at school with Wilson when Wilson got stabbed our freshman year, and he
because
died.
Wilson was at UT with
he was
you
at
at the
UT.
same time.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And you're just such a good mom, and you're such a good wife, and how much you travel and how much you enjoy being with your children and your husband is so admirable.
Like that trip you took with your son. That looked
Yes, you just
Very
took a trip
admirable.
with.
I did. That's one thing about raising boys. And if you like to be outside, it's great. So when Clark, we had an exchange student his senior year, and she was from Holland. And so after he graduated, I sent him to Holland because I think it's very important to get
That's
out
incredible.
of the United States and out of Texas, because we think we're our own nation anyway. And so I said, but Curtis, my younger son, has had a chance to go study abroad. So I sent him we did send him to Europe to study soil and soil conservation. They do it completely different over there. So he's been to Africa and also to Australia, at different summers. And I just think it's so important to travel. But where that's gotten me, I didn't go to Africa or Australia, but I did go to Europe with him, and we traveled around some of the former Eastern Bloc countries. But them being back here and wanting and being outside, I hiked Yellowstone this year.
Just recently, right?
Yeah. June was Yellowstone. And then when I went back up to Montana for Curtis, we did Glacier, the Tetons, saw where they filmed Hamilton. We dug dinosaur bones. I mean, so those kind of experiences are really, really wonderful. And that's kind of where the bonding comes in. No, I don't get to go get pedicures and dry bar.
We went earlier last night. She called and she said, "Okay, I don't want ulcers. What are we going to do? How do we do this? I don't want ulcers on this." And I was thinking about you because the pink party. You were the model.
You're in charge of it.
I did.
For the breast cancer survivor.
So Sheila is also on the Cup Furley board as well. So when the second time I was diagnosed, which was in July, and I had my surgery on September 11th, I did not want to have surgery on September 11th.
Right.
I kept telling them, I was like, we are not doing it on that day. And they said, yeah, we are.
Life goes on.
Pretty much, that's what they told me. And so Diane Ayers,
Who just passed.
Yeah, who just passed. She was the associate publisher for Fort Worth, Texas Magazine, and she was a long time cancer survivor. And she said, "I'm on this board. You need to be a survivor model." And I thought, okay. That's great. So it was that next spring. I hadn't finished Reconstruction. I hadn't finished a lot of stuff, and so
which is kind of the theme, because
it is.
There's a huge fashion show, but the highlight is to have
there's 20 survivor models.
Survivor models.
They're different every year,
and they're at different stages of surviving. Some just like you, pretty much
right out of the chute. Yeah,
right. Or it's been years and 20 years or whatever. Like my godmother walked last year, and but that's the best part.
It is the best part. It's the highlight. I thought it was just going to be like one of these little stages that you get out and you kind of twirl around and all that. It's 90 feet long, and you walk to the end of it and you twirl around, and then you walk 90 feet back, and you just hope that you're not going to
trip.
Do a Saturday Night Live tumble, off or down or whatever.
It is a long walk.
It's a big walk, and I remember thinking, what have I done when I got there that day? But you get your hair and your makeup done, which is such a treat.
Especially with everything that the survivors have been through, for them to be treated like princesses. And
yes.
I mean, it's...
And we have stores in Fort Worth that generously loan clothes to the survivor models and dress them for the fashion show and things like that. So,
and the party's called Putting on the Pink.
Yes, you guys, let's talk about that. What is it? Putting on the Pink.
It's April 8th, and it's at the convention center. So you can Google Putting on the Pink, and
it's huge.
It's we have over 1,000 women.
We sell out every year.
Yes, it's wonderful. So
we'll be there.
We need to get a table, guys.
Yes, we do. And so then I joined the committee, and then I chaired the committee, and
the last time I ever connected with you was when we were setting up for the party last year, and you were
That's
there,
right.
and we were getting everything ready there till the wee hours, and not enough magazines. Who's going to do this?
I know.
The tablecloth.
So
very remarkable woman.
So
y'all
are sweet.
Chris,
Very remarkable.
you're such an apple to my eye, and I know these other girls, because
Love you
what
so
you've
much.
done,
and always look like $1 million.
You know what? And you know what you do? She does. I will be so down, and I'll get a phone call.
Yes.
Oh,
It's like at the
that's
right
so
time.
true.
It's the right time.
You
and
did
I'm
the
just like,
same thing for me last week.
So you've got that
Yes.
that instinct. My mother's
Yes.
no longer alive, and
I neither.
Yeah, and so you're not my mom.
Yeah.
You're not my mom, but you're just such a great friend.
Well, I
so,
think it's important to connect
of course.
midweek. I mean, not just Wednesday afternoons. And, you have had some things. We've all had some things
I struggle
going
with
on.
anxiety and depression, and I put something out there on social media, and it just really meant a lot to me. I was glad I shared. Turns out a lot of people do. I'm not alone, but it meant a lot that you picked up the phone, and I'm almost uncomfortable on the phone at first.
Right.
But then
Yeah,
I'm
me
like,
too.
Okay, it's just me. It's just you.
Because people don't call anymore. They
I
don't.
know.
We text. In fact, yesterday
I
was it
know.
yesterday or one morning? We were like boom, 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 text. She's like, I just had to pick up the phone just to see
Right.
what the
Yeah.
scoop is. I mean, so well, we love you so much.
Yes.
and
I
you're
know,
such a
and I'm
great-
so glad to be a part of this group. I mean,
Yes.
seriously,
Yeah.
it's just wonderful.
And your jacket is very Mah Jong.
Yes, it's such a Mah Jong jacket. Of course it is. So I want to introduce you to Sheila Page. And so Sheila and I have known each other for a while. And her husband, Derek, and Greg, my husband, grew up together. They went to elementary school. They went to Pascal High School. They went to McLean Middle School. And Greg was at TCU, many SAEs. And then Derek went on to Texas, was an athlete. And I met Sheila and
First at a TCU football game.
at a TCU football game.
And I have to say, I hope this doesn't come off wrong, but I've met a couple of Greg's wives.
He's had a few. He's had a few wives.
She went there.
Love Greg. And
He said it
had
wasn't
reached
his
out-
fault.
No, it's never. No, he's right. And anyway, we'd had dinner and Greg had reached out to Derek saying he got remarried, really want us to go eat, and I was like, nah,
Let's not do this.
not going back.
Not going there.
And then I meet Tiffany, and instantly she's my people. And she's in purple, and she's fun, and she's cute. And I meet Kennedy, your daughter. And I mean, the neat thing, I think I'm very blessed that Derek and I have a very unique relationship. We care about each other a whole lot. And y'all are probably the first couple we've ever laid eyes on. With second marriages are hard, especially with all the kids involved. And he looks at you like Derek looks at me, and you look at him like I look at Derek. And I was like, they got it. And you're the it's the one.
Yeah. It is the one. It is the
I
one.
know,
Yes.
but not just that. We connected, and she's like, "I'm having a party at my house next week for the next TCU football." Okay. Actually, it's my birthday. Oh, perfect. And so it began.
And so it began. Yes, it did. So
Yeah.
So you tell us about yourself. So you and Derek have been married.
12 years.
Okay, 12 years.
Yeah, we're
That's
both
right.
from Fort Worth. I've been in Fort Worth. Went to school here in Fort Worth, went to TCU, and then one of my best friends and I decided we needed out of Fort Worth, so we actually went to A&M, which I'd never even visited, just heard there were a lot of boys, and good idea. So we went.
What a great idea.
And turns out there are a lot of boys. And we had a great time, and totally opposite of TCU, but a lot of fun. And then I was married, and I lived in the Cayman Islands for 4 years.
I did
And,
not know that.
I didn't know
I
that
did not
either.
know that.
Yeah.
You
So
did?
my ex-husband's family had a boat and a place down there, and that was my ex-husband's dream, was to always move down there. And I was like, that
Not
doesn't
your
sound like a
dream.
really bad idea.
Was it your dream, right?
Well, actually, it was until I was pregnant, and then I wanted to come home, be close to my mom and close to my family, and I think that had we stayed in Cayman, maybe we would have stayed married. I don't know. He really flourished in that environment. Coming back, I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't have fit. But so then I meet Derek, and I knew the first time I met him, he didn't quite know, but I knew. He was the one. And now we've been married 12 years, and we have 7 kids between us. And we have one that's married, and we have our first grandchild who is it's
precious.
unbelievable. He's so cute. And the youngest of our kids, Allison's 17. She'll be going off to college next year. So we're at a different transition in our life. And he's a chiropractor. He works a lot. And I have a concrete construction business, which I really don't care for. It's a lot of stress, lots of ups and downs.
The
I really don't.
concrete construction business.
There's just narrow margins. People think, oh my God, you must make so much money. I'm like, well, we have a lot of sales. I don't make a lot of money. The truth is.
Crazy.
But it is what it is. And then on the side, I started selling some skincare stuff. And
What is your skincare?
so it's Rodan and Fields.
Love it.
And that has been one of those accidental passions that just hit the mark for me. And because, I mean, come on, we aren't getting any younger. We all need an eye cream and something to take care of our skin. And it really, I needed the extra income to help with my kids going to college. And it's been a huge gift. So I've kind of shifted to put more of my energy into that. And I'm getting out of the concrete business.
Are you really?
Yeah, because there's actually more potential for me in this who knew that direct sales was real? So anyway, and I've kind of started this thing called the Modern Boss Lady, and I'm just trying to help other people understand that it's not really a gimmicky thing if you put you have to put in a lot of front end work for a later payoff, but it really is real if you join the right company, and it's a lot. It's been a blessing for me. So,
Oh, and you can tell you love it. And
Yeah.
by the way, I love the lash boost. Is it lash boost?
yeah,
Yes. No.
who doesn't want long lashes?
I mean, you have beautiful lashes. Of course, you have. What do you call them? Extensions.
Extensions,
and they're
yes.
gorgeous. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
And
they do look good.
but
Well, I thought I tried
may
for a
get.
while.
Yeah.
I may get to that
Yeah.
stage.
What's fun, like for my birthday party, I had a surprise birthday party, but they did my hair and makeup, and they put the extensions or like temporaries, and I thought it was so much fun. But when I woke up and I was like, I had like
Yeah.
spiders in my eyes,
Get used to them.
pulling them all out. But it was fun. They look pretty. I like them.
Yes, we just actually many of we had 16. This is called we call it the Sweet 16. We and then many others.
Big party
big
for
party
Sheila.
for
Big-
Sheila.
big 50th party.
Big 50th. It was a surprise party, and we all
I was
surprised her. So
surprised. I would
it
have
was-
worn something cuter. I did not know.
I know that's always a problem. Don't make
The
it a
look on your
surprise.
face was
So good.
incredible.
I fell
it
to
was
the
so
floor.
good. Yeah.
I spit everything from my contents of my purse spilled right on the floor, but I mean, it was just, I could not believe all of our kids had come in from out of town, and to see the look on my husband's face, because he was, of course, had been working on it behind the
Long
scenes with some
time.
of my
A long
besties
time.
right here. And he was trying so hard, because I had texted him, because I thought it was just my girlfriends and I were getting all fixed up and going out to dinner. And they started, we've been maybe having a few glasses of wine since 3
Cheers.
p.m.
Margaritas.
They started kind of slipping a little. So I sent him a text and I said, hey, something's up. I think that, because my husband likes to surprise me a lot and he kind of does spoil me. And I thought, I think he's going to ask their significant others to join us at dinner. And it turned out that was like a humongous big party with
150.
which my friends helped out with the photo booth and the DJ.
DJ.
And I do
She
love
was
a good
fabulous.
DJ. We had a lot of fun. I had red wine spilled all the way down my rear end on my white jeans. And did y'all know that Pine Sol gets out red wine?
What? No.
Thank you, Rosie.
Pine
Who
Sol?
knew? Pine Sol. She said, give me that. And I was like, I've soaked it in OxyClean. I've soaked it in everything. And she goes, give me that. I just need some Pine Sol. It's like, are you kidding?
Do you
She soaked-
just wash it? Oh, you soak it.
I didn't really watch her,
You
but
didn't watch it, but
Pine
red
Sol.
wine stain.
it worked.
I did not know
Who knew?
that.
So,
Oh my god.
anyway, it was a great party. Though.
Yeah, it was.
Another thing about Sheila that
Yeah, back to me.
Another thing about is that she is the quickest wit person that I know.
Very.
Christine's dry wit. I mean, she'll say
Yes.
something and then like 10 minutes later, go.
Sometimes Dawn and I take a
Yeah,
podcast.
Right.
Yeah, but Sheila, I mean, she will. I mean, you can have your
Sometimes
darkest
inappropriate.
day. Yeah, very.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we do
But
have a lot of
the
inappropriate. Too
darkest
soon.
day, and this one will say something, and it's just like you just want to hug her. She's just like a jewel
Oh, you're so
because
sweet,
she has
Dawn.
got the most funniest, loving, quick spirit heart. And I think the people that are funny are some of the smartest people. The ones that are like that can do.
I'm not real funny.
Yeah, you are.
But you're real cute.
There you go.
And you like shoes.
There you go.
I love shoes.
But I think they're like the smartest people that can come back like that because it takes me a while to go. Okay, yeah, I got it.
Okay.
So, but Sheila can always turn something around and just if you're with Sheila, you're going to be laughing, having a great time.
And maybe peeing your pants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I look forward
Another
to it.
older lady thing.
Another older
really
lady.
loving.
And now on this show, we are going to have everyone back because we have a lot to talk about other than just introducing to each other
Yeah.
because we've had marriage up and down and children ups and downs. And you've all met me before early on my show, but we've definitely, we can get kind of crazy
We'll
too.
tell the honest truth.
We tell the truth. Yeah. So, stepchildren and
It's
and
not easy.
wanting to be their friend and their mom, and so it's not easy, but that certainly goes down a different
Trying to
road.
be a lot of roles at one time.
I know, and we all just went through the holidays, and the holidays are not always easy.
No.
Yeah.
And they're
just
really expensive.
Really, yeah, don't we know, right?
Oh, my
Oh my
goodness.
goodness!
Yeah.
So Mah Jong sisters are going to travel too, and
Yes.
we're going to talk about that on our show as well. But we're going to travel to Cabo in about February or March, possibly. We're going over to Cabo.
Now, aren't we going to be doing a fast beforehand?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
When are we going to do that?
You know what? I don't know. I'm starting mine, so I can't start it next week because
Tiffany's
it's my
really
birthday.
healthy.
Right.
Yeah,
so
she's
then I'm
very
starting on it
healthy
next
and she
Monday.
works
So
Works out a lot.
because y'all know I do
That's
the
right.
pro lawn, so I'm doing the pro lawn.
We said we
before
do
we
it
go
with
to
you.
Yeah,
Cabo.
we've committed.
Yeah,
We're not
everybody's
sure
gonna
what we're
do-
in for.
Saw the picture of you in the
We
bathing
would be
suit.
cranky Mah Jong that
This we
week.
could. And then Dawn has a ranch.
We have a place in
and
Santo. We raise
Yes,
exotic
looks
game.
gorgeous.
And I cannot
And
wait to get y'all
longhorns.
out there. Longhorns, buffalo, red stag, elk,
Wow.
fallow deer.
I have a dog.
We just need to get through hunting season and we'll go out there so we don't get shot. And
it's
it's just a
important.
beautiful
Oh,
place.
right.
It's a gorgeous place to just look
like
up
it.
at the sky and say thank you, Lord,
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
for these beautiful stars that are right there.
Yeah.
My son and I this past, you mentioned something
Saw
about
those
us being out there. My son and I sat out there, the son that lives in D.C., we sat out there for 6 hours one night.
Wow.
We saw sundown at 6. We didn't come back in until 12.
Aw.
And to have that time with a 26-year-old male
One on
and just
one.
talk.
Choosing
just
to spend
us
time
two.
with you.
Yes. And when he left and he got back to DC and are you good? You back? Blah, blah. And he said, my favorite time overall was sitting out at the ranch because you could see, you can see satellites go
Yeah,
by.
right.
It's different from like a plane that beeps, it goes,
Yeah.
and so you can see those because you're so close. You're on top of a mountain. And his favorite time was just to sit out there and talk. And we talked for 6 hours, just he and I.
Well, it's just hard. Everything's so fast. It's so good to just stop.
And those of you listening, you moms, that's huge.
It goes so
Huge.
fast.
You know what? I always had raising Kennedy. I always had this, and I've tried to explain this to my husband as well. If she wanted to talk, I stopped and listened. I mean, it was. I'm busy. And especially now, she is having to parent me because I'm so busy on my phone with social media and text and this, that, and
Building
the
a
other.
business.
When she says, "Hey, Mom," or I stop. I didn't do it
Well,
perfectly.
I'm guilty of not doing enough of that and looking back and wishing I had. My mom gave me the best advice when my kids were little, and you're so busy and you're just trying to keep it together and maybe get a shower every once in a while. And she said, when you give your kids a hug or they hug you, don't be the first one to release. Let them
That's great advice.
That's great
release
advice.
because they know how much of a hug they need. And sometimes it's a little, and sometimes it's a long one. And that way you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good to know.
Isn't that good?
Good to know. And I'm telling you
I
this.
think that's wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, those of you moms and dads.
So my kids are
listening,
like, get off, get off.
Oh, of course.
I get that too. They're like, Mom, don't hug us
off.
anymore. And
I
I'm
know.
like, that's too bad.
I know.
That
I
is
need this.
way too bad. Yeah, now I need it.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't let go till I do.
Yeah.
Well, girls, thank you so much.
Yay,
I
so
love each and every
fun.
one of you so
we love you
passionately.
too.
We love you.
Oh, so
And
fun to be
yes,
here.
yes, thank you for supporting
And not
me.
so scary, really.
But we also appreciate how hard you work.
Thank you
Oh,
Because
very
what
much.
you
so
do is a
much.
lot
Thank
of
you.
work.
Thank you. Thank
Definitely.
you.
And we
all so much.
appreciate that you take the time out to meet with us
Well, of
and to have,
course.
our time, as in all of y'all. I mean, because
Yeah.
it's a commitment from all of us.
Definitely.
And that's what's made it work when you think about it.
Because we know.
all, when
Everyone's
we first,
invested.
we've invested
no
the
one wants
time
a
and the commitment to
relationship
this.
that's not reciprocated.
That's
and
right,
this
right.
is 100% reciprocated.
Absolutely.
100.
Like
and then
amazed.
some.
You know, and it's getting
Tenfold.
me that Mah Jong was the crowning glory, but it's now the friendship
friendship.
that's reversed, and that is,
Absolutely.
I know we didn't really talk a lot about Mah Jong, but you just go and look
It's
it
too
up. It's easy.
complicated.
Gosh, that's too complicated. I can't even talk about it. But everyone, thank you so much, Chris,
Thank you,
Sheila,
Tiff. Yay,
and
thank
Dawn. I
you.
love you, Mah Jong sisters, and everyone.
fun.
Please follow me on Tiffany C. Blackman Instagram, and my Twitter is Tiffy C. Blackman, and my Facebook is Tiffany Collins, and my private personal is Tiffany
And her
C.
phone
Blackman,
number
and then my phone number.
Her address is.
It's too soon for all that. No. But everyone, thank you so much. I look forward to and tune in next time. Have a great one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ching, ching.
Yes. Cheers. Oh, cheers. Oh, we had cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.